Stop starving yourself immediately. You haven't failed. You've been deeply betrayed. A silent, biochemical warden is aggressively locking away your body fat, and until you uncover the dark secret the diet industry is desperately hiding, you will never lose a single inch. Look into the mirror. What do you truly see? Beyond the tired eyes, the forced smile, and the sheer exhaustion, there is a silent, agonizing war being waged underneath your skin. Millions of people out there wake up every single morning, stepping onto a cold bathroom scale, only to be utterly crushed by the numbers staring back at them. You meticulously scan every barcode before a morsel of food touches your lips. You calculate, you restrict, and you starve yourself until your hands shake, your vision blurs, and your mind is too fogged to focus on the ones you love. You drag your heavy, broken body to the gym, leaving your soul and your sweat on the treadmill in a desperate plea for change. Yet, despite this monumental suffering, that stubborn, cold layer of fat around your waist remains entirely unaffected. It sits there, mocking you, invincible, stubborn, and completely unresponsive. Your body is in a state of permanent strike. You are trapped in a biological prison of lethargy, haunted by vicious cravings for sugar and carbohydrates that violently claw at your stomach. You feel like a complete failure. But you are not. Canada Senior Health Guide 04 warmly welcomes you to a profound revelation that will shatter everything you thought you knew about your own body. If you are ready to finally break free from this endless cycle of despair, please hit that subscribe button right now to support our channel, giving us the immense motivation to continue bringing you the unvarnished, life-saving truths the mainstream diet industry desperately wants to keep hidden. Breathe deeply and let go of the guilt. The failure you have been carrying on your shoulders is not yours. It is the inevitable, catastrophic collapse of a fundamentally broken belief system that has been ruthlessly shoved down our throats for decades. Imagine, for a moment, that your body is a living ecosystem, much like a fish swimming in a deeply polluted, toxic fish tank. The conventional wisdom of modern nutrition tells you that to heal this sick, lethargic fish, you simply need to feed it less food and physically force it to swim harder and faster. It is an act of pure physiological madness. Biological reality dictates a very different, undeniable truth. You can never, ever heal a dying fish unless you fundamentally change the venomous water it swims in. That water is your internal metabolic and hormonal environment. The entire dogma of counting calories, treating your breathtakingly complex human body like a cheap thermodynamic calculator, or eating 5 to 6 small meals a day with the incredibly naive hope of stoking your metabolic fire. These are not solutions. They are the exact equivalent of pouring liquid poison into an already suffocating fish tank. The traditional eat less, move more mantra entirely strips away the most critical, life-altering factor of human survival: the profound biochemical cascade of your hormones. We are going to completely demolish those archaic, destructive dogmas today. I am not here to hand you another fleeting, torturous diet plan. I am handing you the master key to unlock a primal, dormant, fat-burning machinery that has been sleeping inside your DNA since the dawn of humanity. The ultimate paradigm shift, the one profound secret that dictates the destiny of your waistline and the longevity of your metabolic health, does not lie in agonizing over what you eat. It has absolutely nothing to do with obsessing over how many calories you painfully restrict. The undisputed, biological tipping point that controls everything is simply this: when you eat. This brings us to the profound, transformative reality of intermittent fasting. Do not let the terminology frighten you. Do not mistake this for a ruthless starvation crusade, and definitely do not view it as a masochistic punishment for your stomach. Intermittent fasting is a highly intelligent, elegant realignment of your feeding window that completely respects the ancient, evolutionary biological rhythms of humankind. It is the single most formidable, scientifically proven weapon you possess to drain the toxic sludge from your internal fish tank, to completely reset your intracellular environment, and to gently guide your body back to its truest, most magnificent primal state. A flawless, unstoppable engine biologically designed to burn its own fat for boundless, radiant energy. To understand how to ignite this unstoppable engine, we must first unmask the silent, biochemical warden that has been keeping your fat cells under maximum security lock and key: insulin. For your entire life, you have been told that weight loss is a simple math equation, a ledger of calories in versus calories out. But this is a devastating oversimplification that ignores the fundamental mechanics of human endocrinology. Whenever you consume food, especially carbohydrates and sugars, your pancreas releases insulin into your bloodstream. Think of insulin not just as a hormone, but as an aggressive, highly efficient storage manager. Its primary biological directive is to sweep glucose out of your blood and shuttle it into your liver and muscles for immediate energy. But when those storage facilities are full, which they almost always are in our modern, sedentary lives, insulin forcefully packs the excess energy away as body fat. Here is the absolute, non-negotiable truth that the diet industry sweeps under the rug. As long as insulin levels are elevated in your bloodstream, your body is completely and utterly paralyzed in fat-storing mode. It is biologically impossible for you to burn stored fat while insulin is actively patrolling your system. Now, consider the traditional, aggressively marketed advice to eat 3 square meals a day, punctuated by a mid-morning snack, an afternoon pick-me-up, and a little treat before bed. You are told this keeps your metabolism revving. In reality, you are keeping your insulin levels permanently spiked from the moment you wake up until the moment you close your eyes. You are trapping yourself in a fed state. I want you to visualize your body's energy storage as a kitchen. The food you just ate and the glycogen stored in your liver are the refrigerator. It is easy to open, easy to access, and your body will always go there first. Your body fat, however, is the chest freezer buried deep in the basement. It holds massive, life-sustaining amounts of energy, but it takes effort to get to. As long as you keep walking into the kitchen and restocking the refrigerator every 2 to 3 hours with snacks and meals, your body will never, ever have a reason to walk down the stairs and open the deep freezer. Why would it? The biological warden, insulin, is standing at the top of the basement stairs, blocking the door. This is the exact reason why you can endure grueling, torturous hours on the elliptical machine, starving yourself on a meager 1,200 calories a day, and still not lose a single inch off your waist. You are heavily restricting your energy intake, but because you are constantly grazing on those small, inadequate meals, your insulin remains just high enough to keep the freezer locked. Your body, desperate for energy but cut off from its own fat stores, responds by slowing down your metabolic rate, making you feel lethargic, freezing cold, and deeply depressed. It begins breaking down your hard-earned muscle tissue just to survive, leaving the fat entirely untouched. It is a biological tragedy. By understanding insulin, you finally realize that the villain is not your lack of willpower, nor is it your genetics. The villain is the constant, relentless frequency of your eating. You have simply never given your body the quiet, uninterrupted biochemical space it requires to lower insulin, unlock the basement door, and finally tap into the decades of stored energy you have been carrying around like a ball and chain. But what exactly happens in the shadows of your cellular biology when you finally allow insulin to drop, closing the refrigerator door and walking away? The moment you cross the threshold from the fed state into the fasted state, a magnificent, deeply healing process awakens within you, one that goes far beyond the simple vanity of losing weight. Around 16 to 18 hours into a fast, after the insulin has plummeted and the liver has emptied its immediate glycogen stores, your body does something truly miraculous. Realizing that no external nutrients are coming in, it turns its attention inward, initiating an ancient, evolutionary survival mechanism known as autophagy. The word itself translates from Greek as self-eating. And while that might sound entirely terrifying, it is actually the most profound biological reset button humanity possesses. Imagine your body as a sprawling, bustling metropolis. Over years and decades, the factories in this city, your cells, have accumulated massive amounts of industrial waste, broken machinery, and toxic debris. In a modern lifestyle where you are constantly eating and digesting from dawn until dusk, the city's maintenance crews are completely overwhelmed, just dealing with the relentless influx of new shipments. The garbage piles up. This cellular garbage manifests as premature aging, rampant chronic inflammation, brain fog, and a severely compromised immune system. Autophagy is the physiological equivalent of halting all new shipments into the city and finally sending out the elite sanitation and repair crews. When you fast, your body aggressively hunts down old, damaged, senescent cells, often referred to as zombie cells that refuse to die and instead secrete inflammatory toxins into your tissues. Your body breaks these damaged cells down, recycling their usable parts to build new, highly efficient, vibrant tissues while destroying the toxic waste. This is not a fringe theory. It is a Nobel Prize-winning scientific reality. By merely extending the hours in which you do not eat, you are actively orchestrating the deepest level of internal cellular cleansing known to medical science. You are literally eating your own disease. People who embrace this rhythm often notice that their skin begins to clear and glow, their joint pain mysteriously vanishes, and their nagging, chronic ailments begin to quietly subside. Their bodies are no longer squandering massive amounts of energetic resources on the heavy, taxing burden of constant digestion. Instead, that profound energy is redirected toward healing the gut lining, repairing damaged DNA, and fortifying the immune system against external threats. The tragedy of our modern dietary landscape is that by constantly grazing, we have entirely robbed our bodies of this sacred repair cycle. We are forcing our physiological machinery to run at maximum capacity, non-stop, until it inevitably breaks down in the form of obesity, diabetes, and metabolic syndrome. Intermittent fasting is not a diet. It is the ultimate rescue mission for your cellular health. It is the conscious, deliberate choice to stop poisoning the fish tank and finally allow the water's natural filtration system to run. Embracing this profound cellular healing is not about extreme deprivation, but rather gracefully reclaiming the natural eating windows our ancestors thrived upon. Yet, the very first time you attempt to push your breakfast back by a few hours, you will inevitably hit a wall of panic. Your stomach will growl viciously, your brain will scream for a bagel, and you will become absolutely convinced that you are starving to death. I need you to listen to me very carefully. This is not true starvation. It is a manufactured chemical tantrum. You are experiencing the dramatic spike of a hormone called ghrelin. For years, you have trained your body to expect a heavy influx of carbohydrates at exactly 8 in the morning, 12 in the afternoon, and 7 at night. Ghrelin is the hormonal alarm clock that rings at those precise times, demanding to be fed. When you suddenly change the schedule, the alarm rings louder, trying to force you back into your old, destructive habits. The most liberating truth you will ever learn about hunger is that it does not build infinitely like a brick wall. It operates in waves. If you can sit with the hunger, drink a large glass of black coffee or pure water, and simply wait 20 minutes, you will feel the ghrelin wave crash and completely wash away. You will suddenly realize that the agonizing hunger has vanished, leaving behind a sharp, undeniable surge of mental focus. This is the exact moment your body pivots, realizes the refrigerator is closed, and successfully opens the deep freezer of your body fat for fuel. The adaptation phase is a mental battlefield. For the first few days, as your body withdraws from its severe addiction to constant glucose, you may feel tired, irritable, or foggy. This is often referred to as the withdrawal period, and it is the graveyard where millions of people abandon their fasting journey. They mistake this temporary biological recalibration for permanent suffering. Do not surrender to the discomfort. You must push through the shadow to reach the light. A beautifully effective way to start is the 16-8 method, where you simply consume all your daily nutrients within an 8-hour window, perhaps from noon until 8 in the evening, and fast for the remaining 16 hours. You are already fasting while you sleep. You are simply extending that quiet period through the morning. It does not require you to buy expensive supplements. It does not require you to weigh your spinach on a digital scale, and it completely eliminates the psychological exhaustion of planning 6 miniature meals a day. It is elegantly simple, yet brutally effective. You are retraining your body to remember how to burn fat, a primal skill it had entirely forgotten through years of constant, mindless feeding. As that temporary wave of manufactured hunger finally crashes and recedes, you will find yourself stepping onto the shores of an entirely new physical existence. The day will come, usually just a few weeks into this journey, when you wake up and something feels profoundly different. You will look at the clock and realize it is past noon, yet your stomach is perfectly silent. Your mind is no longer a chaotic whirlwind of obsessive thoughts about when you get to eat your next handful of almonds. Instead, you are experiencing a piercing, crystal-clear mental acuity that you haven't felt since you were a child. The brain fog has completely lifted because your brain is now running on ketones, a deeply efficient, premium fuel source derived directly from the fat around your midsection. You have effectively become a fat-burning machine, biologically impervious to the mid-afternoon energy crashes that used to send you running to the vending machine in a state of desperation. This is the ultimate freedom that the weight loss industry never wanted you to discover. The scale will drop, yes. The stubborn fat that clung to your waistline for decades will begin to melt away with a quiet, undeniable consistency. But the physical transformation, as breathtaking as it will be, pales in comparison to the immense psychological liberation you will achieve. You will no longer view food as a terrifying enemy to be calculated, feared, and restricted, nor will you view it as a drug to soothe your emotional exhaustion. Food becomes what it was always meant to be: nourishment, celebration, and deeply satisfying sustenance enjoyed within a beautifully defined window of time. You hold the power to completely rewrite your biological destiny. You are not broken, your metabolism is not destroyed, and your body is not actively working against you. It has simply been waiting, patiently, for you to stop fighting its natural rhythms and start honoring its ancient, evolutionary design. Step away from the frantic, maddening cycle of dieting. Close the refrigerator. Let your insulin fall. Allow your cells the precious time they need to heal, to cleanse, and to tap into the brilliant, vibrant energy source you have possessed all along. The war is over. The prison door is unlocked, and it is finally time for you to walk out into the light, lighter in body, infinitely sharper in mind, and beautifully in control of your own magnificent life. The journey through intermittent fasting is far more than a mere weight loss strategy. It is a profound reclamation of your original biological design. For years, the modern diet industry has trapped us in a relentless, exhausting cycle of continuous eating. This artificially spikes our insulin levels, firmly locking away our stored fat while accelerating cellular decay and chronic disease. By simply changing when you eat, rather than obsessively calculating what you eat, you flip a deeply powerful metabolic switch. You transition from a lethargic, sugar-dependent grazer into a highly efficient, fat-burning machine. Allowing your insulin to fall opens the heavy door to your body's deep fat reserves, while the miraculous process of autophagy acts as an elite internal repair crew. It aggressively clears out toxic, aging zombie cells, deeply heals your tissues, and massively reduces systemic inflammation. Naturally, the initial shift requires mental fortitude to push past the manufactured hormonal tantrums of ghrelin, but the reward waiting on the other side is absolutely extraordinary. You permanently break free from the psychological prison of calorie counting and constant, nagging hunger, unlocking a crystal-clear mental acuity fueled entirely by your own ketones. Ultimately, intermittent fasting is about finally stepping out of your own way. It is the conscious, daily decision to give your remarkable body the uninterrupted biochemical peace it requires to heal from the inside out, granting you a remarkably vibrant, energized, and profoundly empowered life. The most powerful revelation is that your body is not broken, flawed, or actively fighting against you. It is simply reacting perfectly to a modern, unnatural environment. True healing and sustainable health do not come from adding more complexity, more supplements, more grueling workouts, or more restrictive rules, but from subtraction. By giving your body the gift of absence and uninterrupted time, you allow its ancient, innate wisdom to repair, detoxify, and thrive without interference. Adopt the 16-8 protocol. Stop micromanaging your meals and simply compress your eating into an 8-hour window, for example, from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Fast for the remaining 16 hours, keeping in mind that you are already accomplishing half of this while you sleep. Ride the hunger wave. When your stomach growls in the morning, recognize it as a temporary chemical spike of ghrelin, not actual starvation. Drink a large glass of pure water or black coffee, wait exactly 20 minutes, and watch the craving completely vanish. Eliminate the grazing habit. Stop eating between your primary meals. When you do eat within your window, consume deeply nourishing, satiating foods so that your insulin can properly drop back to baseline during your fasting hours, forcing your body to unlock the deep freezer of stored fat. What is the longest time you have ever gone without eating, and how did it make you feel physically and mentally? Please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments section below so we can all learn from each other's perspectives. If you found this information valuable, please hit the subscribe button to support the channel. It gives us the immense motivation to keep creating more powerful, life-changing content for you.